So my friend is a very good tech guy from Africa, but he has very limited opportunities to showcase his talents to the world. So I'm starting this series where I react to popular tech YouTubers channels so I'll get their attention and they would help my friend. So today I'm going to be listing out all Mr. Who's the Boss tech videos and how many views they have. Let's go. So the most recent video is titled I bought every Nintendo handheld ever, which has 1.1 million views in just 19 hours. Now, the second one is titled I bought my mom her dream car, which has 3.5 million views in just 5 days of its release. The next one is titled What You Didn't Know About TikTok, which has 2.5 million views in just 8 days. So let's move on here. I bought the craziest gaming tech in the world. It has 5.2 million views in just 2 weeks of its release. Then the next one, unboxing the most expensive Samsung phone ever, which has 4 million views in just 3 weeks of its release. 19 inventions that will save your life has 3.3 billion views in just 3 weeks of its release. Yeah. The most high-tech camera on the planet. It has 1.7 million views in 4 weeks of its release. Then the next one, the 10 minutes video, why Elon Musk actually bought Twitter. It has 2.2 million views in just 1 month of its release. Then let's move on. I bought the tiniest tech on the internet, has 4.9 million views in just 1 month of its release. Then the next one, what you didn't know about YouTube, has 4.5 million views in just 1 month of its release. Then here, the best smartphones for 2023 has 3.7 million views in just 1 month of its release. Yeah, I tested the most ridiculous TikTok life hacks. Is this a tech? Oh yeah. It's actually a tech video. It has 4.1 million views in 1 month. This phone charges in 9 minutes. Here's why. 4.1 million views in 2 months. That's crazy, man. Million. Yeah. So I tested 9 gadgets that think different. Has 4.8 million views in 2 months. Be Real, the Instagram killer, has 3.6 million views in 2 months of its release. So yeah, 17 stupidest tech fails of all time has 5.8 million views in 2 months since it was released. Then the next one, why 5G sucks, has 3.2 million views in 2 months. I bought the most satisfying tech on the internet, has 11 million views in 2 months since its release. I bought every Xiaomi phone, has 2.7 million views in 3 months. That's crazy, man. Google Pixel 7 and 7 Pro review, ridiculous, has 5 million views in 3 months. I bought every Nintendo console ever, has 6 million views in 3 months. It's crazy for a 23 minutes video. Yeah. The next one, how mobile games are designed to scam you, has 4.5 million views in 3 months. Samsung phones are blowing up. Here's why. Has 6.2 million views in 3 months since it was released. The ultimate voice assistant battle between Google, Siri, Bixby and Alexa has 6.9 million views in 4 months since it's released. So yeah, let's move on. iPhone 14 Pro Max versus iPhone 14 Pro or 14 or 13 or 13 mini or 12 or SE battery test has 5.3 million views in 4 months since its release. Yeah, so iPhone 14 Pro Max versus Samsung S22 Ultra camera test has 9.5 million views in 4 months since its release. iPhone 14, the good, the bad, and the ugly, has 6.9 million views in 4 months since its release. So yeah, the next one, did Xiaomi just make the best foldable phone yet? Question mark, has 5.7 million views 4 months ago. For a 8 minutes video. Yeah, so this one, how I transformed my body in 100 days, has 5.6 million views. and that was 4 months ago. So unboxing the Tesla Electro phone, 13 million views. That's crazy, man. In 4 months, it's crazy, man. So this, I bought every PlayStation ever, bro. That's a lot of quid, man. Has 13 million views 5 months ago. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4Y, I nearly switched, has 4.1 million views 5 months ago since it was released. Yeah. I bought the strangest tech on the internet, has 10 million views 5 months ago. So yeah, I tested the best $5 gadgets ever, has 5.1 million views 5 months ago. Yeah. So the next one is actually a very crazy collaboration. The Mr. Beast Mega Studio Tour has 17 million views 5 months ago. I think that's Mr. Who's the Boss most viewed video. So Nothing Phone 1 review, actually better than iPhone question mark, has 6.9 million views and it was dropped 6 months ago. So I tested crazy fitness gadgets versus Ryan Trehan, has 3.5 million views for a 10 minutes video, and this guy Ryan is actually one of the biggest YouTubers on this platform. I think what shot him into the into the scene was when he delivered the penny to Mr. Beast. So Xiaomi 12s Ultra review, this is game changing, has 5.2 million views. It was released 6 months ago. So yeah, let's move on. 18 deadly tech fails that need to be banned, has 7.5 million views and it was dropped 6 months ago. So 7 smartphones you won't believe are real, has 5.9 million views and it was dropped 7 months ago. Android versus iPhone, which is actually better, featuring MKBHD. Oh, Mark you, yeah, 6.5 million views 7 months ago. iOS 16, top 10 coolest features, has 4.4 million views and it was released 7 months ago. The best smartphones of 2022 has 4.7 million views and it was dropped 7 months ago. So My Health is Starting to Suffer has 3.6 million views and it was released 7 months ago. So I got hacked by an iPhone cable. Yeah, I was checking the time. I got hacked by an iPhone cable, has 6.8 million views and it was released 8 months ago. Vivo X80 Pro, the king of photography, has 2.4 million views and it was dropped 8 months ago. Is Sony finally better than Samsung, has 3.4 million views and it was also dropped 8 months ago. Apple made a robot and I got to test it, has 3 billion views and it was dropped 8 months ago. I tested the fastest gadgets on the planet, has 5.7 million views and it was released 8 months ago. 35 hidden smartphone tricks, has 5.8 million views and it was released 9 months ago. So yeah, let's move on. Can a cheap 2022 smartphone beat a 2022 flagship, has 4.4 million views and it was released 9 months ago. So yeah, I tested viral TikTok life hacks. Are they a scam? Has 7.7 million views and it was released 9 months ago. So 14 products that give you real superpowers. Damn, this video looks interesting, man. It has 4.6 million views and it was dropped 9 months ago. So the Samsung smartphone scandal explained. It has 3.4 million views and it was dropped 9 months ago. So yeah, I bought the thinnest tech in the world, has 16 million views and it was released 10 months ago. So yeah, I tested the cheapest gadgets on the internet has 11 million views and it was released 10 months ago. Apple's 2022 products are even crazier than you think has 2.9 million views and it was released 10 months ago. 17 wildest inventions that you won't believe are real has 5.7 million views and it was dropped 10 months ago. So yeah, this next one looks cool. Free Tech for Everyone has 4.8 million views and it was released 10 months ago. Poco or POCO times 4 Pro review $250 iPhone destroyer has 5.6 million views and it was released 10 months ago. Damn, a bulletproof iPhone. I tested the bulletproof iPhone. 6.1 million views 11 months ago. So yeah, let's move on. Samsung S22 Ultra versus S21 or iPhone 13 Pro Max or Pixel 6 Pro or Xiaomi 12 Pro has 5.9 million views and it was released 11 months ago. Samsung S22 Ultra versus iPhone 13 Pro Max camera test has 5.9 million views 11 months ago, a 15 minutes video. So the next one, the Samsung S22 Ultra is secretly amazing, has 8.3 million whooping views for a 13 minute video and it was dropped 11 months ago. Yeah, AirTags, they are cool, man. So how Apple AirTags are becoming dangerous. I would like to watch this. It has 6.9 million views and it was released 11 months ago. So yeah, the next one, why NFTs are pretty. I'd like to watch this, man. Has 4.5 million views and it was dropped 11 months ago. Escobar launched a new product. It's their worst ever. Has 4.1 million views and it was released 1 year ago. So yeah, this next one, 21 inventions that will save the world, has 6.1 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. Realme GT2 Pro, the record-breaking 2022 flagship, has 4.2 million views, a 10 minutes video, and it was dropped 1 year ago. So 19 toxic tech fails that will last forever has 12 billion views and it was dropped a year ago or about a year ago. 50 facts about me, Mr. Who's the Boss, here, 7.9 million views and it was released 1 year ago. Okay. Oppo Find N unboxing, did they just Samsung, has 6.3 million views and it was released 1 year ago. So yeah, I bought the biggest tech in the world, has 13 million views and it was released about a year ago or a year ago. Unboxing world's first next gen 2022 phone has 2.7 million views and the video was dropped exactly a year ago. How this robot changed my life has 1.9 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. The best smartphones of 2021 has 3.9 million views and it was dropped a year ago. I tested 15 gadgets from the future has 10 million views and it was released a year ago. So unboxing a phone from space has 8.4 million views and it was dropped a year ago. The metaverse could be a problem has 4.5 million views and this video was released 1 year ago. The most pro phone money can buy has 6.1 million views and it was released 1 year ago. So Galaxy S22 Ultra, Samsung's finally doing it, has 6.2 million views and it was released 1 year ago. So why is back, but there's a problem, has 3.9 million views and it was dropped exactly a year ago. So Google Pixel 6 Pro versus iPhone 13 Pro camera test has 7.4 million views and it was dropped exactly 1 year ago. So I'm worried about humanity's future has 5.7 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. So 25 inventions that are out of this world has 8.5 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. So yeah, I hit my mic. Vivo X70 Pro Plus, so much camera. Damn, I'm seeing the thumbnail. Really has so much camera. Has 4 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. So iPhone 13 Pro review, the final verdict, has 3.9 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. iPhone 13 Pro Max versus iPhone 13 Pro or 13 mini or 12 or 11 SC battery life has 12 million views. 11 minutes video. It was dropped a year ago. iPhone 13 Pro Max versus Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra camera test has 7.9 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. So iPhone 13 unboxing, are they actually good? Has 5.7 million views, and it was released a year ago. Yeah, let's move on. iPhone 13, what was Apple thinking? Has 7.8 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. What you didn't know about Tesla has 5.8 million views 1 year ago. Damn, I love this thumbnail, man. So how tech companies manipulate the media featuring MK PhD has 5.9 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. I bought the cheapest tech in the world has 13 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. Why Samsung is losing to Xiaomi has 3.5 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. Galaxy Z Fold 3, what was Samsung thinking? Has 4.9 million views, and it was released a year ago. 24 hottest inventions that will change your life has 10 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. Kali XOS, the next big Android competitor, has 4.6 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. Nothing Year 1 review, the problem with hype, has 4 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. Do not buy the Freedom phone has 6.1 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. 11 minutes video. 22 Nightmare Tech Fails They Want Us to Forget has 14 million views. A 36 minutes video, and it was dropped 1 year ago. Dear Apple has 5.4 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. How many spy cameras are recording right now has 5.6 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. Who has the worst customer service has 5.7 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. Stop Buying This Tech Scam has 6.9 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. OnePlus Nord CE unboxing has 2.5 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. How cryptocurrency actually works has 7.7 million views, and it was dropped 1 year ago. I bought the smallest tech in the world has 19 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. The best smartphones of 2021 mid-year has 9.2 million views, and it was released a year ago. Zenfone 8, the most okay, let me take that again. Zenfone 8, the most boring incredible phone ever, has 3.9 million views, and it was released a year ago. How this Instagram story kills your phone has 13 million views, and the video was dropped a year ago. 20 next level inventions you didn't think were possible. Damn, this video actually looks fire, bro. So it has 6.5 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. The $200,000 smartphone unboxing has 12 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. 15 smartphone gadgets that will shock you has 9.6 million views, and it was released a year ago. Mi 11 Ultra review, Xiaomi just killed Samsung, has 13 million views, and it was released 1 year ago. The thinnest smartphone in the world, the video has 17 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. Vivo X60 Pro Plus, this is getting ridiculous, has 3.8 million views and it was released 1 year ago. OnePlus 9 Pro versus Samsung S21 Ultra camera test comparison has 3.5 million views and it was released 1 year ago. OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro review has 2.5 million views and the video was dropped 1 year ago, 14 minutes video. If smartphone commercials were extremely honest, has 5.5 million views, a 7 minutes video. It was dropped a year ago. Oppo Find X3 Pro review, wait, what? Has 3.4 million views, a 14 minutes video, and it was dropped 1 year ago. Let's move on. ROG Phone 5 Ultimate unboxing, so fast, it's funny man, has 5.2 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. A fascinating smartphone gadget, Insta360 Go 2 has 2.2 million views and the video was dropped a year ago. Can you actually trust Mrwhosetheboss has 3.6 million views and it was dropped a year ago. Why does nobody buy LG smartphones has 4.8 million views and the video was dropped 1 year ago. 21 horrific tech fails they want you to forget has 19 million views and the video was dropped a year ago. What you didn't know about Xiaomi has 5.8 million views. It was dropped a year ago and it's crazy man. The real reason you don't get a charger anymore has 9.7 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. I bought the strangest smartphones ever has 12 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. Galaxy S21 Ultra Exynos vs Snapdragon has 3.5 million views and it was dropped 1 year ago. Don't buy this smartphone has 4.6 million views and the video was dropped a year ago. The truth about Xiaomi Air charging has 4.3 million views and the video was dropped 1 year ago. Yeah. We are done with the 1 year ago mark. So yeah, let's move on to the 2 years ago videos. So Samsung S21 Ultra versus iPhone battery life test has 4.9 million views and this was dropped 2 years ago. Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra versus iPhone 12 Pro Max camera test comparison has 11 million views and it was dropped 2 years ago. The Galaxy S21 Ultra is better than you think has 5.8 million views and it was dropped 2 years ago. Xiaomi Mi 11 unboxing and review has 5.7 million views and the video was released 2 years ago. Beware of fake reviewers has 3.8 million views, a 9 minutes video 2 years ago here. Don't buy a screen protector before watching this has 8.7 million views in just 2 years of its release. So yeah, damn bro, what's happened to Beats by Dre has 4.9 million views. Really, what's happened? I'm gonna add this video to my watch later. Yeah, 4.9 million views 2 years ago. I switched to iPhone. This is what I found out. Has 6.1 million views 2 years ago. World's biggest smartphone collection has 5.7 million views in just 2 years of its release. 15 smartphone fails to ruin your day has 11 million whooping views in just 2 years since its release. It's actually crazy because this is a 23 minutes video. A Linux smartphones about to Android has 6.9 million views in 2 years since its release. Unboxing the $122 smartphone has 10 million views in just 2 years since its release. The fastest Android phone ever has 2.8 million views 2 years ago. So before we go to smartphones are boring now. Yeah, it's recording. So smartphones are boring now has 3.8 million views in 2 years. Apple is not what it used to be has 2.9 million views 2 years since its release. The self-healing smartphones has 8 million views in 2 years since its release. The best smartphone of 2020 has 5.2 million views 2 years since its release. So the next one, iPhone 12 Pro Max versus Samsung Note 20 Ultra or Huawei or Xiaomi or OnePlus has 2.9 million views in 2 years. iPhone 12 Pro Max versus Samsung Note 20 Ultra or Huawei Mate 40 Pro Cam has 4 million views in 2 years since its release. iPhone 12 Pro Max unboxing and review has 3.2 million views in 2 years since it got released. 19 smartphone gadgets that blew me away has 4.6 million views 2 years since its release. iPhone 12 versus iPhone 12 Pro or iPhone 11 Pro Max or 11 Pro or 11 or XR or SE battery life has 6.6 million views 2 years since its release. Huawei Mate 40 Pro unboxing has 4.3 million views 2 years since it got released. iPhone 12 Pro versus iPhone 12 versus iPhone 11 Pro camera test comparison has 3.5 million views in 2 years since it got released. Damn, these are some crazy views, man. iPhone 12 or 12 Pro unboxing featuring AMK has 4.3 million views 2 years since it got released. OnePlus 8T versus Google Pixel 5 The Brutal Truth has 3.8 million views in 2 years since it got released. iPhone 12 What Were Apple Thinking has 5.4 million views 2 years ago, since it got released. If Smartphone Commercials Were Honest has 7.3 million views 2 years ago. The Problem with Fast Chargers, the video has 3.8 million views 2 years since it got released. Is Samsung about to take over has 3.9 million views 2 years ago. 6G Explained has 8 million, 6G. It has 8 million views 2 years since it got released. Why Samsung's transparent phone will fail. Samsung a trail, reading out the thumbnail. It has 12 million views 2 years since it got released. 14 mega smartphone fails we'll never forget. 19 minutes video, it has 11 million views in 2 years. Huawei is replacing Android. The video has 3.7 million views 2 years since it got released. Poco times 3 The Shady Truth has 5.1 million views 2 years since it got released. OnePlus 7 Pro in 2020, wow, the video has 2.5 million views 2 years since it got released. Samsung and Google are at war, has 3.6 million views in 2 years since it got released. I bought every Galaxy Note ever has 10 million views 2 years ago. Galaxy Note 20 Ultra review has 2.4 million views 2 years ago. Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra unboxing and review has 7.2 million views 2 years since it got released. I bought the cheapest smartphones ever. The video has 8.8 million views in 2 years. Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2, the big problem, it has 2.7 million views 2 years ago. Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra versus Galaxy S20 Ultra impressions has 5.2 million views 2 years ago. Google Pixel 4a unboxing ridiculous. The video has 5.5 million views in 2 years. Oppo Reno 4 Pro unboxing big upgrade. The video has 1.3 million views in 2 years. 20 crazy smartphone gadgets for 2020. The video has 6.3 million views in 2 years, Unboxing world's fastest phone, damn, it's crazy, man, has 4 million views and it was released 2 years ago. OnePlus Nord unboxing, better than you think. The video has 4 million views and it was released 2 years ago. Vivo X50 Pro unboxing, world's first rotating camera, has 3.5 million views, and the video was dropped 2 years ago. The Apple Master Plan, the video has 4.3 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. $7 smartphone versus $7,000 smartphone. The video has 6.7 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. Can a cheap 2020 smartphone beat a 2018 flagship? The video has 5.6 million views, and it was dropped 2 years ago. I'm switching to iPhone. The video has 6.5 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. Unboxing the forgotten Samsung phone. The video has 6.6 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. Don't buy this USB stick. The video has 6 million whooping views, and it was released exactly 2 years ago. The 2020 voice assistant battle has 7.8 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. How this wallpaper your phone has 22 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. Escobar launched a new phone, don't buy it. Damn, bro. It has 12 million views, a 9 minutes video, and it was released 2 years ago. 12 brutal smartphone fails they want you to forget has 8.7 million views, and it was dropped 2 years ago. I quit my job to play with smartphones has 3 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. OnePlus Messed Up has 5.4 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. Huawei operating system of the future has 2.9 million whooping views, and the video was released 2 years ago. Is your smartphone overpriced has 1.5 million views, and the video was dropped 2 years ago. Mystery Xiaomi smartphone unboxing has 2.4 million views, and the video was released 2 years ago. Top 13 best smartphones of 2020 media has 5.8 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. iPhone SE versus iPhone 11 versus iPhone 11 Pro versus Samsung versus OnePlus battery has 2.8 million views. iPhone SE versus iPhone 11 versus iPhone XR camera comparison has 5.1 million views, and it was dropped 2 years ago. 19 smartphone gadgets you never knew existed has 4.4 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. I bought the cheapest smartphones on the planet has 11 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. OnePlus 8 Pro versus Samsung S20 Ultra versus iPhone 11 Pro Max camera test has 2.4 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. OnePlus 8 Pro versus Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra has 4.3 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. OnePlus 8 versus iPhone 11 has 2.5 million views, and the video was dropped 2 years ago. Huawei P40 Pro Plus unboxing has 2 million views, and it was dropped 2 years ago. Huawei P40 Pro 2 weeks later has 1.7 million views, and it was released 2 years ago. The 2 fastest phones on the planet has 10 million views, and it was dropped 2 years ago. Huawei P40 Pro versus Samsung S20 Ultra versus iPhone 11 Pro Max 4.3 million views 2 years ago. Huawei P40 Pro unboxing, the best camera ever, has 2.1 million views, and the video was dropped 2 years ago. Top smartphones of 2020 featuring MKBHD has 2.3 million views in 2 years. Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra Exynos vs Snapdragon has 2.5 million views in 2 years since its release. Mystery Samsung smartphone unboxing has 3.6 million views in 2 years since its release. 13 painful smartphone fails we'll never forget has 12 million views in 2 years since it got released. Oppo Find X2 Pro unboxing, the spec monster, has 2 million views in 2 years since it got released. Oppo Reno 3 Pro unboxing, 108 megapixel for the masses, has 1.7 million views in 2 years since it got released. Samsung S20 Ultra versus iPhone 11 Pro Max or Note 10 Plus or Hawaii Mate has 3.8 million views in 2 years since it got released. Xiaomi Mi Mix Alpha Day in the Life has 5.4 million views in 2 years since it got released. Huawei Mate XS Ultimate Foldable Smartphone has 2.7 million views in 2 years since it got released. Dear Smartphone Makers has 2.5 million views in 2 years since it got released. Unboxing the $399 foldable phone has 3.2 million views in 2 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy S20 versus iPhone 11 has 3.3 million views in 2 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip unboxing the confusing truth has 2.3 million views 2 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra versus iPhone 11 Pro Max impressions has 5.5 million views in 2 years since it got released. 16 smartphone gadgets that can change everything has 5 million views in 2 years since it got released. And the last but not the least, for the 2 years ago released video, the $100,000 smartphone unboxing has 5.6 million views and it was dropped 2 years ago. Damn, Mrwhosetheboss made a lot of videos 2 years ago. How technology might be about to take us has 3.3 million views 3 years ago. Yeah, let's start the 3 years ago videos. Smartphones are evolving has 2.1 million views in 3 years since it released. What you didn't know about Google has 5.1 million views in 3 years since it got released. Samsung S10 Lite and Note 10 Lite, the confusing truth, has 2.7 million views in 3 years since it got released. OnePlus concept, one smartphone, disappearing cameras has 1.4 million views 3 years ago. Charging a smartphone with light has 1 million views on the dot. On the dot, man, 3 years ago. Like, ever since I started this video, this is like Mrwhosetheboss, like, least views. This guy gets millions of views like it's nothing. So, I used the 2.5k USD smartphone, superphone. This is what happened. Has 5.2 million views 3 years ago. Why mid-range smartphones are the new flagships has 2.5 million views in 3 years since it got released. 18 smartphone gadgets to change everything has 3.5 million views 3 years ago. Mystery Samsung smartphone unboxing has 5.8 million views 3 years ago. 20 Android apps for 2020 has 3.2 million views 3 years since it got released. A battery that will change smartphones forever has 3.1 million views in 3 years since it got released. Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 features has 2.5 million views in 3 years. 865 features. The ultimate Google Android comparison has 3.2 million views in 3 years since it got released. What you didn't know about Samsung has 5.9 million views in 3 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, this is why you should be excited, has 1.8 million views in 3 years since it got released. 15 smartphone gadgets you didn't see coming has 4.7 million views 3 years since it got released. What you didn't know about Mrwhosetheboss has 2.1 million views in 3 years since it got released. Top 20 best smartphones of 2019 has 3.1 million views in 3 years since it got released. What Nokia has really been working on has 3.5 million views 3 years ago. Xiaomi Mi Note 10 review 108 megapixel madness has 5.4 million views 3 years since it got released. There's noise now, so let me pause it. The biggest smartphone unboxing ever has 2.6 million views 3 years ago. The Realme X2 Pro surprised me. It has 1.7 million views in 3 years. 25 questions with MKBHD has 4.9 million views 3 years ago. Mystery unboxing from Samsung has 2.3 million views and it was released 3 years ago. Google Pixel 4 versus iPhone 11 Pro versus Samsung Note 10 Plus camera test has 1.5 million views 3 years ago. What you didn't know about Apple has 8.6 million views and the video was dropped 3 years ago. Google Pixel 4 The Complicated Truth has 2.4 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. The ultimate iPhone 11 Pro camera has 4 million views and it was released 3 years ago. OnePlus 7T Pro versus Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus has 2.9 million views 3 years ago. So the next actually a crazy video. I bought every iPhone ever. It has 16 million views and it was released 3 years ago. Their smartphone companies has 4.1 million views and it was released 3 years ago. OnePlus 7T versus iPhone 11 versus Samsung S10 camera test comparison has 1.4 million views and it was released 3 years ago. OnePlus 7T unboxing and review has 1.3 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Huawei Mate 30 Pro versus iPhone 11 Pro Max or iPhone 11 or Samsung has 3.6 million views and it was released 3 years ago. Huawei Mate 30 Pro versus iPhone 11 Pro Max versus Samsung Note 10 Plus has 3.1 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Huawei Mate 30 Pro is so good, it hurts, has 3.4 million views in 3 years since it got released. 15 smartphone gadgets for 2019 has 2.7 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Vivo NEX3 versus Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus has 3.1 million views and it was released 3 years ago. 35 hidden Android features has 6.5 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. What you didn't know about Huawei has 3.3 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Why I'm not using the Samsung Note 10 Plus has 1.8 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. A very special smartphone gadget has 1 million views on the dot. Again, this is the second video that has 1 million views on the dot and it was dropped 3 years ago. Vivo NEX3 unboxing the limitless smartphone has 9 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Huawei's fastest smartphone ever. This is actually Mr. Who's the Boss first video to not have a million views since you got me speaking. So let me screenshot. I think I might use that as thumbnail. I don't know. Samsung Note 10 Plus versus S10 Plus or iPhone XS Max or P30 Pro has 1.7 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Why the most innovative smartphone fail has 951,000 views 3 years ago. 10 epic smartphone fails we'll never forget has 5.8 million views 3 years ago. Samsung Note 10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max versus Huawei P30 Pro camera test has 1.4 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Our smartphones getting weaker has 4.9 billion views in 3 years. Your smartphone is too thin, here's why, has 2 million views in 3 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy Note 10 to 20 things you need to know has 1 million views in 3 years. I switched to a 99 euro smartphone. What I found out has 2.5 million views in 3 years. Smartphones are changing has 1.6 million views in 3 years. The ultimate Samsung Galaxy comparison has 3.6 million views in 3 years since it got released. How iOS is catching up with Android has 2.3 million views 3 years since it got released. Huawei P30 Pro Extreme Day in the Life has 1 million views 3 years since it got released. So let's go. Asus ROG Phone 2 unboxing, fastest smartphone on earth, has 3.8 million views 3 years since it got released. People react to the iPhone 11 has 1 million views in 3 years since it got released. Mystery smartphone unboxing from Red Magic has 3.6 million views 3 years since it got released. Google Mrwhosetheboss could change the world, but the video has 1.3 million views 3 years since it got released. The real reason Samsung is getting sued has 1.4 million views 3 years ago. Samsung Galaxy Note Edge unboxing has 5 million views 3 years since it got released. 10 smartphone gadgets you may believe exist has 2.8 million views in 3 years since it got released. Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Tesla edition just leaked has 711,000 views 3 years ago. How Android destroyed Samsung OS has 1.3 million views 3 years since the video got dropped. The liquid glass screen protector has 5.3 million views 3 years since it got dropped. How Huawei can beat the US ban has 476,000 views 3 years since it got released. Mystery unboxing from Oppo has 1.2 million views 3 years ago. Can't Huawei new OS fight the US ban has 3.9 million views 3 years ago. Top 15 best smartphones of 2019 under 500 USD has 1.5 million views 3 years ago. About that Samsung Galaxy S11 Plus has 873k views 3 years ago. Redmi K20 Pro vs OnePlus 7 vs Xiaomi Mi 9 camera test comparison has 1.3 million views in 3 years. Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Pro, this is why you should be excited, has 1.5 million views in 3 years. Redmi K20 Pro unboxing and review has 3 million views 3 years since it got released. The best Android launcher of 2019 has 1.3 million views 3 years ago. Is your smartphone case causing overheating has 326,000 views 3 years since it got released. 10 Android apps that shocked me has 1.9 million views in 3 years since it got released. OnePlus 7 vs 7 Pro or Zenfone 6 or Pixel 3a XL or Mi9 battery life drain has 815,000 views in 3 years. The 8K video smartphone is here has 826,000 views in 3 years since the video got dropped. OnePlus 7 Pro vs Samsung S10 Plus vs Huawei P30 Pro overheating test has 2.4 million views in 3 years since it got released. Asus Zenfone 6 vs Honor 20 Pro vs OnePlus 7 Pro camera test comparison has 901,000 views in 3 years since the video got released. Honor 20 and 20 Pro unboxing quad camera beast has 477,000 views 3 years ago. OnePlus 7 Pro vs Samsung S20 Plus or Huawei P30 Pro speed test has 1.3 million views 3 years ago. Asus Zenfone 6 ultimate rotating camera smartphone has 7.1 million views in 3 years. OnePlus 7 Pro vs Samsung S10 Plus or iPhone XS Max or P30 Pro has 2.2 million views in 3 years since it got released. OnePlus 7 Pro vs Samsung S10 Plus vs Huawei P30 Pro camera test has 1.4 million views in 3 years since it got released. OnePlus 7 Pro vs Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. The video has 2.7 million views in 3 years since it got dropped. Google Pixel 3a vs Galaxy S10 Plus vs Huawei P30 Pro camera comparison has 1.6 million views in 3 years since the video got dropped. Google Pixel 3a vs iPhone XR has 930k views in 3 years since it got dropped. The flagship phone that's now 330 USD has 3.5 million views 3 years ago since the video got dropped. I got Galaxy Note 10 details early has 680,000 views 3 years ago. Night mode on a budget smartphone camera has 368,000 views 3 years ago. Mystery unboxing from Xiaomi has 3.1 million views 3 years ago. Lenovo Z6 Pro, the 100 megapixel smartphone, has 1 million views on the dot, and the video was released exactly 3 years ago. Smartphone radiation is increasing, has 456,000 views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. Top 15 best smartphones of 2019 mid-year has 2.5 million views, and it was released 3 years ago. I got the Galaxy S10 5G early, has 2.1 million views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. Huawei secretly released a killer smartphone, has 483,000 views, and the video was released 3 years ago. Mystery unboxing from OnePlus has 3.8 million views 3 years ago. The ultimate P30 Pro camera has 1.6 million views, and the video was dropped 3 years ago. Samsung Galaxy A80 rotating camera hands-on review has 4.7 million views in 3 years. Apple and Spotify are officially at war, has 2 million views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. 14 smartphone gadgets you might not believe exist has 3.1 million views 3 years ago. Huawei P30 Pro, a day in the life, has 2.9 million views 3 years ago. The Huawei P30 Pro camera can see in the dark has 799,000 views in 3 years. Huawei P30 Pro versus iPhone XS Max or Samsung S10 Plus battery drain test has 2.4 million views in 3 years since it got released. Huawei P30 Pro versus Samsung S10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max camera has 8.2 million views 3 years ago. Huawei P30 Pro versus Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus has 2.1 million views in 3 years. Huawei P30 Pro unboxing has 510k views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. Customize your Android smartphone 2019 has 632k views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. World's first real wireless charger, interesting man, has 1.4 million views, and the video was dropped by Mrwhosetheboss 3 years ago. World's first free-to-use smartphone, has 2.7 million views, and it was released by Mrwhosetheboss 3 years ago. The ultimate Galaxy S10 camera has 3.8 million views, and the video was dropped 3 years ago. Smartphone fast charging just got faster, has 656,000 views, and it was dropped 3 years ago. Nokia 9 PureView, this is what 5 cameras can do, has 1.2 million views, and it was released 3 years ago. 12 smartphone gadgets you might not believe existed has 11 million views, and the video was released 3 years ago. Mrwhosetheboss Draw My Life V2 has 969,000 views, and it was released 3 years ago. I just found out how much Google knows about me. The video has 1.1 million views, and it was released 3 years ago. The Behemoth flagship smartphone for $230 has 340,000 views, and the video was released 3 years ago. Samsung S10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max or Mate 20 Pro speed test has 584,000 views, and it was released 3 years ago. Samsung S10 Plus review 6 things I love, 2 I hate has 992k views, and it was released 3 years ago. This smartphone lasts 50 days without charging, has 15 million views, and it was released 3 years ago. Samsung S10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max or Mate 20 Pro Extreme Camera Test has 2.4 million views, and it was released 3 years ago. Samsung S10's 3D sonic sensor is game changing. Has 321,000 views and it was released 3 years ago. Nokia 9 Pure View unboxing has 1.4 million views and it was released 3 years ago. Samsung S10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max or Mate 20 Pro or OnePlus 60 or Galaxy Note has 1.7 million views and the video was dropped by Mrwhosetheboss 3 years ago. Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus versus Galaxy Note 9 has 857,000 views and was dropped 3 years ago. Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus versus iPhone XS Max has 1.1 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Xiaomi Mi 9 unboxing has 2.1 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Can a $100 smartphone camera beat $900 flagships? Has, I think this is lowest view so far, has 212,000 views in 3 years. Why OnePlus 5 is the best cheap 2019 smartphone has 445,000 views in 3 years. Customize your Android smartphone 2019 edition has 664,000 views in 3 years. How secure your Android unlock pattern actually is has 2.3 million views in 3 years. 10 brilliant Android apps for 2019 has 1 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. I downloaded the most expensive Android app ever has 3.3 million views in 3 years. Red Magic Mouse 2 unboxing and review has 335,000 views in 3 years since it was dropped by Mrwhosetheboss. I used the 2011 smartphone in 2019. This is what happened. I'd love to know what happened. It has 2.1 million views 3 years since its release. Why foldable phones will fail then succeed, featuring MKBHD. The video has 286,000 views in 3 years since it got dropped. Yeah, we down to the last for 3 years ago. I think I might even stop here. It's titled 12 Smartphone Gadgets for 2019. It has 3.4 million views and it was dropped 3 years ago. Damn. So we've done months ago, we've done 1 year ago, we've done 2 years ago, and now we are done with 3 years ago. I think I'm gonna stop here, you know. If this video eventually get views, then I'll do 4 years ago to 5 years ago to 6 years ago. Then if that one get views, I'll do to 7 to 8, you know, to 100 years or to when he created the channel. Damn, it's crazy, man. So I think I'm gonna screenshot this place and maybe use it for thumbnail, I don't know, for something. So Mrwhosetheboss is a legend. This guy is actually dedicated to tech and we love to see it, man. Just look. I think I'm gonna scroll up now. I want to show you all what we've done since. There's a lot of videos, man. See, you're seeing it. There's a lot of videos, man. See, we're scrolling up. I mean, this guy makes a lot of tech videos. He spends money on gadgets, man. It's crazy. He buys all these phones, man. See, we're scrolling up. Different phones, man. Different gadgets. Spending a lot on this. It's good to see he's getting a lot of views. You can see, man. In just 3 to 4 years, this is a lot of videos, man. Man, I love the dedication, man. It's crazy, man. So we're scrolling up. You can see what we've done since. You can see how crazy it is. Back to 2 months, to 1 month, to 4 weeks, to 3 weeks, 8 days. And back to the beginning. 1.4K videos. That's crazy, man, for a tech YouTuber. 13.1 million subscribers. Let's see how many views Mrwhosetheboss has in total. 2.5 billion views in tech, man. That's big, man. He joined 2011. That's big, man. 27-year-old economics graduate, 2.5 billion views. Bro, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So if you enjoyed this video, you can tap on that subscribe button and enable notifications so you know when I post the one of 4, 5, 6 years ago. I think I'm gonna go now. I think I'm gonna go now. Okay, I think let me just scroll back to the let me just scroll back to the end of 3 years ago, just to show you. 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 I'm scrolling to, I scrolled up, so I'm scrolling down back. Then I end the video. So yeah, we are going 1 year ago. These are the 1 year ago. These are the 1 year ago. Yeah, we are scrolling. Yeah, then this is the beginning of the 2 years ago video. The 2 years ago video. The 2 years ago video. Yeah, we're scrolling. I mean, bro, how many videos does this man drop in a year, man? He's so dedicated for someone in tech. So yeah, we're scrolling down. So yeah, that's the end of the 2 years ago video. So going to start scrolling to the end of the 3 years ago video, which is where I ended the video. So you see, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm just going to go to the end of the 3 years ago video. Bro, he makes a lot of videos, man. So I'm going to, bro, there's a lot of videos. I admire the dedication, bro. I admire the dedication, man. Yeah. So 12 smartphone gadgets for 2019. That's the end of the 3 years ago video. And in the next video, we're going to start with the 4 years ago video. If this is the Huawei P30 Pro, which has 172k views. So subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Yeah.